Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Touring Australia. We're all set for another little video. This one should be a bit shorter. It was only about a 2-week driving trip, so we should be able to get through it fairly quickly and show you the route. This is videos you may have seen. One of the last ones we put up was the bigger route where we went up and around up the top there. We're not even in the picture. This one's more of a South Australia, New South Wales outback trip, touching on a few of the corners there. Well, quite 3 of the corners actually. So I'll show you the route where we went. Took 2 weeks. It was quite a bit of drive. It was a driving trip. So I think, what do we have? We have maybe 6 cars, and it was mainly one person per car. Look, I think Mitch was maybe a boys trip, you know what I mean? So quite a bit of driving. So we left Melbourne, obviously. We were in Melbourne to start off with. What route did we take? That's another good question. We ended up at Morgan, which is up here. So usually, let me just think about that route. Yeah, we did the usual route up via near Bendigo, up this sort of thing here. I'm pretty sure we could have gone that way, but I can't remember. We do a lot of trips, and every time we go up here, sometimes we go that way, but often we go this way. Sometimes we go up. There's a little shortcut through here we take. You know, usually that's a morning tea or lunch stop out here somewhere. If you're like out in the middle of nowhere, stop, you've got your lunch because you left Melbourne, so you prepared something healthy to eat the next day, perhaps. Roadside stop there. Sometimes we take the road down here and then up through Loxton, through Renmark that way. But look, that little shortcut up there, often we'll stay around Renmark or whatever, but this time it was Morgan. So Morgan was day one. That's your drive there for the first day. Stayed there, and you probably saw a few photos if you're around our Facebook groups. You may have seen some videos at some stage, but this is just to give you an idea where it was. So Morgan's on the river there. Next day we headed up through Burra like usual. I'm not too sure, you know, there's a few different options, but one way or another, let's just say one way or another is the way to say it. We made our way through to Port Augusta. I think we probably refueled at Port Augusta. No, we wouldn't have got fuel in Morgan. So that, yeah, Prado's, that would have got us through to Port Augusta to refuel, and for a lunch break. It was a lunch break in Port Augusta. Then we headed back down the highway over here, and I could get it a little bit wrong here, but somewhere I reckon it could be because I'm standing like 2.5 feet away from where I'm pointing here, and I'd have to get my big fat head in the way again to show you exactly where you went. But Mount Ive Station, I reckon it's down this road and it's about there somewhere, something like that. If I got my eyes in there, we'd probably find it. We were there a few days. Pretty good. Look, it was a hot time of the year. This was back in, was it end of March, start of April, near Easter, the school holidays, Victorian school holiday timing of it, and it was about 40 degrees every day. So it's really hot. There's no water there, so you haven't really got any relief from the heat. So you got to like it hot. It's dry hot, so it's good heat. I prefer that over 25 or 30 and humid, to be quite honest. But it was hot. I did feel it on that trip that it was hot, and you just kind of, when it's 40 every day with no relief, you kind of just get sick of it. I know people that are living up around here, they're going, mate, you know, we do that every day. Well, you're used to it. I don't mind it, but yeah, I'm just saying I did feel it. I did notice, you know, for the whole trip, it was very hot. It was a hot trip, let's say, at least for the first week. Anyway, we got our way out of there. I can't remember the exact route, to be honest, but we cut our way along. We were headed towards Ceduna next anyway, but so we took some outback track routes, whatever, and we came out somewhere, I can't even read the names of the place, and eventually hit the highway. And we've been to Streaky Bay and all these coastal places before, and there's a few good spots to see in between and all that, but not on this trip. So I'm just going through what we did on this trip. So you need to watch these sorts of videos, and I can show you the routes we do, and I'll work my way backwards. And I have missed one other trip between the bigger one and this one that was up into Queensland, up this way, for a bit of an Prado crew gathering for the weekend, and some other business. It was a business trip, see some people and stuff like that, and of course catch up with some friends and that while we're up there, while the opportunity was there and we could actually travel. You got to make the most of it when you can get out, but of course you got to do it carefully. So we got to Ceduna. We stayed there for a night, went to the pub, all that. Wasn't normally, they've got this awesome carvery sort of thing, but because of COVID it was all different menu. But anyway, it's all about the food, isn't it? Not just the food, but you know, the food's pretty good if the food's good. Anyway, then we went up GOOGS track. We stayed, you know, at GOOGS Lake there, wherever it is along there somewhere for the night. Then we continued on up the track. All the details of the trip are in those videos, so I'm not going on about too much. I'm just showing you the route in this video. Then we came back along the whatever this one, I always forget the name of it anyway, but we came back along to a point, basically, yeah, you followed it all the way along, and you go past Kingunya. There's a pub there. What's the name of that road? Is it something to do with a railway? Anyway, I forget the name of it. I always forget the name of it. Anyway, you can put it in the comments for people that want to know. It doesn't matter. We basically headed east along there. You eventually hit the highway, Glendambo, or there might have been a little turn or a shortcut, left or right, whatever, but there's fuel there. Then we continued on down the highway, Woomera. Okay, so basically from the camp to Woomera in a day. I suppose, yeah, that's a big day for a lot of people, but you know, when you do a lot of outback traveling and your vehicle's set up for it and you haven't got the family, it's just the boys type thing, it's just another day driving, right? So we headed out there, and that took us about a week from memory. It was pretty close to about a week. Actually, not quite actually. It was a few days before a week. Then we headed north. We went up through Roxby Downs, stopped in there. That was a lunch stop and go shopping and refuel. And then from there, we kept headed up along here until we hit the old GAN route, the Unadilla track. And just along the road a little bit is where the aeroplanes, and you know, you might have seen in some videos, you know, those aeroplanes that are in the ground. I call it the junkyard anyway. The junkyard's just about there somewhere. And then we continued, after a quick stop there, we continued on to Maree. Maree, actually at the back of the pub? They've got some, I shouldn't tell you about this, they've got some good cabins, but not many people are watching. When the channel gets more popular, I'm not going to tell you stuff like that, because they've got these really, I like a bit of glamping, you know, when you're being out camping and it's hot, and you know, they've got a pool. Obviously it's bore water, you know, but it's pretty good. They've got a pool, they've got some nice clean rooms that are comfortable, reasonably priced, and with aircon, so happy days. I think, did we stay at Maree 1 or 2? I don't know if we stayed I don't know, I don't think we stayed an extra night, but we're thinking about it, because a couple of the guys, that was about a week, okay, because a couple of the guys, they had to get back to, you know, work and stuff within, they only had a few more days left. This trip was originally meant to be a Simpson crossing, but it was closed due to a bit of water and some things like that. So that sort of mucked it up. But we got out. This was right in between restrictions. We kind of had a good year. We got really lucky. So then what we did from there was we split up a little bit. A couple of the guys that had to head back to work, they did their thing and headed back down this way, you know, maybe around the Flinders and a few things around there, which we've done other trips there. We've got footage on that. And if I remember the routes, we'll do another one of these videos and show you sort of where we went. But so a couple of the guys, they headed south, let's say, and there was 4 cars left, and we headed up the Birdsville track. We stopped in at the Munga pub, get your sticker, say good day, get your bacon egg roll. Apparently there's building a Macca's there soon. Yeah, wait till you go there and see the sign. A lot of people have already been there. Have a bit of a chuckle anyway. Stopped in there and then continued the rest of the drive up to Birdsville. So Birdsville from Maree in a day, no problem. It's just a day's drive, you know. I could go further, but that's enough in a day. Some people would say that's too much in a day. Some people would say, mate, do that by 2 p.m, you know. So each to their own. But I'm just saying, you know, for us that was about a day. Then from there, from Birdsville, what do? We stayed at Birdsville a night, and then we headed out. Although the desert was closed because the water problems was over this side, so what we decided to do was we went out, had a bit of a muck around on Big Red for a little while. You would have seen that bit of footage and photos. Then we headed out, and we went down to Pepple Corner, had a bit of a look-see, bit of photos, planking on the pole, this sort of stuff. This is what you do at the corners, you know, get your photos. Who can do a plank? Have a bit of a laugh, whatever, you know, bringing back the trend, planking, you know, it's a safe place to plank. We're not on the side of a building where you're about to fall off. Well, hopefully it's safe anyway. Depends, you know, who's touched it, I suppose, with COVID. Anyway, so from there we stayed out. We came back a little bit. We camped on the side of the lake and spent the night out there. Then we did a bit of testing to see, that's where the photos you see where we sort of drove in towards the lake a bit and risked getting bogged and, you know, sort of break through the crust a bit. You may have missed some of those videos. Just go back and have a look. They're all there. And of course, some of our photos and posts about it on our Facebook groups and stuff like that. So after a night out there, we headed back out again and we stayed in Birdsville again, actually. So basically Birdsville, desert Birdsville. So that was a little taste of the desert, which was good. And then from Birdsville, we headed across this way to, I reckon, I hope I'll use the right texture. Is this the one that rubs off? Let me get my special teacher's rubber. Yeah, I'll use the right one. It's all good, yeah. So over here, there's a little pop in and see, go to Batuta Pub. That's pretty cool, little pub there. Sort of like a pub in the middle of nowhere. Check that out. Anyway, then we continued along the road, up here, down there to Haddon Corner. This is all in a day from Birdsville at the moment, right? Haddon Corner. And by then, I think it was a bit after lunch. Anyway, we continued down this road, whatever it's called, I've forgotten. Really awesome scenery. Down here, Arrowbury, the Arrowbury Road, right? That's what it is. And then eventually you come down. I think we came, I'm just trying to not get it right here. Burke and Will's dig trees about there. So we must have come down here to there, and you come to the intersection, you hang a bit of variety. You'll figure it out. You'll have your maps. You'll see the signs, follow your nose. Just take all your food, water and camping gear and don't worry about it too much. As long as you're equipped and you're not alone, you don't need to worry about your maps too much. Follow your nose, have some fun. Don't worry about it, you'll get there. That's the way I sort of look, you know. If you need to be on a schedule, then you need to get your maps out and plan it a bit more, whatever. So down to Inaminka, we camped for the night, went to the pub for dinner. That was pretty cool. And then from Inaminka, what do we do? That's a good question, right? I really got to think about this now. See, this is what I mean. You've got to make these videos before it gets too old. Inaminka, what do we do? We obviously, there's only one way we would have headed down. I'm sure we headed down. Let me just find where we got to. We didn't go, did we go to Cameron Corner? Yeah, we did. So which road did we come down on? Hey, good question, Anthony. I reckon to Cameron Corner, we came in this way. So I think we came, we would have come head out of here, down here, around here, and you do a bit of a loop around here like this, and you come back in, right? So into Cameron Corner. From Inaminka, that was probably a lunch stop and another plank opportunity, so a bit of planking there. Then we came back in on the Cameron Corner Road to Tibooburra, and that was a bit of fun because the whole area was full of water there after all this rain they had, so it was quite different to what we've seen at other times. It was a really good opportunity. The next day I was in Tibooburra, just went down the street early, and I was having a bit of a look around for a bit of water to give the windscreen and that bit of a wash clean up. Sometimes you find a tap or a hose, and there was a hose at the front of the pub, so gave that a quick wash. And there were some guys across the road, and they come over and said, "Oh yeah," and they told me. And the day before we said, "Oh, you wouldn't want to be travelling at night. You drive straight into that water," which I'm not going to say I almost did, but I almost did. I come, lead vehicle over the hill, around the bend, and there you are. There's all this water, and I slow down slowly and stop right at the edge of it. A bit of a test again, But you got to just back it up a bit and take the turn, and you go around the lake. But these guys, they were travelling at night, and they drove straight into it, and they were about to jump out and see how bad the situation was. But there was this big, fat, long snake, and that kept them in the vehicle. And luckily, they chucked it in reverse and backed straight out. So they were a bit muddy, and they were looking for the use of the hose. But I suppose you had to be there. But that was pretty cool. So then we headed from Tibooburra. We headed outback again, right? We didn't go down the main road. We headed back across this way. The roads technically were closed but open. We made some calls and we got permission. Yep, you can go if you know what you're doing. Basically, your everyday tourists and that, they don't want going down there getting stuck. There's roads washed out, really deep washouts, like washouts a couple of foot deep that you've got to dodge and stuff like that. Real adventure stuff. It was cool. But we headed out here, out and around and down somewhere. Look, where do we... Here we go. We come out at what? So a little bit further it would have been along here. So let's get that rubber again. Let's get the right route going on here for you, all right? So I think we must have come down along here, and somewhere out here there's a massive sheep station you can do a tour of. We just had a look around there. A couple of the guys, we left them there. They stayed there, and that must have left. What did that leave? Did that leave 2 cars or 3 cars? No, we had 3 cars. So one of the guys we left. No, 2 of the guys. No, 2 guys in 1 car. That's right. So we left them there. G'day John, he's probably watching. Anyway, and the other 3 cars, we continued on down the road to White Cliffs. Bit of a quick stop at the shop. Mitch wanted an ice cream. Happy days. And then we continued down the road to Will Canyon. We camped there. There's a spot there a lot of people talk about. It's a bit scary. Bit of COVID there at the moment. I think I've heard that name's come up. A lot of people never heard of the place, and they Google it and it says don't go there. Well, just down the road, a couple of Ks, there's a caravan park. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of caravans there. They do a 4 p.m. happy hour thing, whatever. Anyway, so that was might have been one of our last nights, I think. We might have got home after that. because after that, if I remember correctly, straight down the road, lots of wildlife. Watch out for the wildlife down through here. A lot of people go up and go hunting up around these areas. Just about everything's up there, so just watch what you're about to hit. Travel carefully. One of our guys did actually hit a small roo, and lucky it was down low and all that sort of thing, but you know, just they come out of nowhere sometimes. You really got to, they blend in well. You've got to keep your eyes peeled and be ready to take evasive action, or hope you've got a nice, really strong bull bar and it's a small roo. Anyway, from there we continued on down through Hay, through Deniliquin is the route, and back through Echuca Moama, and most likely down through near sort of Bendigo-ish, back down to Melbourne. So that was our route for the trip of the footage you saw around about from the start of April. If you want to look back at those videos, that was that route. Hope you enjoyed knowing where we went, what the route was, a bit of timeline, the time we spent there. Let us know in the comments if you like these videos, or you just prefer the scenery, or if you like the vehicle information, because we also do a bit of that on this channel, like, you know, a bit of full driving, how to use low range, when to do what, whatever. What do you like best, or do you like all of it? So which aspects, the vehicle information that's included, the scenery type thing, you know, showing you the routes and the scenery, or and these routes describing, you know, where we went, what the route was for the trip, if you know what I mean. Anyway, guys, look forward to the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, bell on, give us a thumbs up, please, and bada bing, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. See ya.